platform, Teranga Valley, of volunteers. So we all volunteer our time to bring you those exceptional events. We are entrepreneurs and business people in Shanghai that we realize that people are often in their little part of the city, they never meet, and we all have in common this interest in progressing, in self-development, in learning from each other. So we decided that we will go together and we will bring to you guys those events. So it also gives us an opportunity to meet more people and to help each other. So that is the base of Teranga Valley. And for those who don't know, Teranga is a Senegalese word. I come from Senegal, and my co-founder is also from Senegal. And this word means welcome. And we thought that that was the best name because everyone is giving their time. And thank you, Klaus, as well, who wants to give his time to benefit the community and that we can learn together. And you also can be the person who will share with us. No one is too small. We are all in a learning curve. You need to start somewhere to get somewhere higher. So there is no judgment, and we hope that by giving weekly events, we just can motivate people as well to start, to do their own business, or maybe to improve their lives. Everyone can choose the way they want, and we are so happy to host and be here to help you to make it happen. So thank you, Klaus, for today being the one who shared with us his time and his knowledge to help us for public speaking. As you can see, I'm not so good at public speaking. So I'm also learning with Teranga Valley. So this is the hidden part, and I'm really looking forward for the event. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Merci, Isabelle, for the introduction. And we all are learners in life, right? So let's begin. And I'm so excited to kind of reconnect to Shanghai. I guess a lot of you are in China or in Shanghai, where I've been living now for 15 years. But actually, I'm stranded in Germany because of the crisis and just waiting to get back to Shanghai as soon as possible. Yes, I'm Germany right now, but I guess you are calling in from different countries or cities. Do you mind like writing down into the chat box where you're calling in from? Just let's have a look. Next to Shanghai, we had one guy in Beijing, right? So just writing, oh, you're in Senegal right now, Isabel. Wow. Shanghai. Oh, Gregor, hi. My friend Gregor. Yeah, hey, Craig. Hi, Shanghai. Taipei. Xiaoli, yeah, Li Hao. Okay, so we have quite a few places in the world where you're calling from. Great. So let's start. Um, First of all, I guess it's not the first Zoom session you're joining. I would like to talk a bit about housekeeping rules. Not too many, but some technical stuff maybe we should cover. The topic is today, well, we talk about public speaking, but only one part of, well, maybe the most important part, how to overcome, how to counteract, how to get rid of nervousness, anxiety you maybe have before public speaking. Like one guy said, like stage fright, which is very, very common. I could spend like hours or even days on this topic. We have 1 hour or 1.5 hours to cover, so I will go into the most essential part. But first of all, you might see it's a bit small here on the flip chart. It's not an no multitasking session, please. So please try to concentrate, close the other apps, don't do extra activities. Next to our session, please stay with us. Then be sure to switch between speaker or gallery view, right? You know, when one person speaking like I am speaking right now, you can switch to speaker view. I see the gallery view now. I want to see all these lovely faces, but we have a lot of discussion, so you can switch between both. Next is it's not Netflix, meaning what? It's not an entertainment program. Teranga is like providing, it's going to be a very interactive, dynamic session where I want you to contribute and to be engaged. What else? You see microphone quite well. You know how to mute or unmute yourself, and you even can just press the button, the space button, when you want to speak, and just release it when you stop speaking. Then I have the video here, a camera. So I would just encourage you maybe to turn on your camera. I think it would be a better connection. I don't mean only technical connection, but personal connection. When I see you, then I know they're really human beings I'm talking to, not only seeing names. Thank you. If you use the headset, maybe it helps sometimes for the clarity, for connection, maybe as well for some privacy. Then hands up, you know all this symbol, how to press it when you want to speak, or can even show your hand like in the video, so I see it. Last but not least, the chat box. We have a lot of activities. Actually, I wanted to use the breakout rooms, which is not possible right now, so we have to switch a bit more activities in the chat room or in the chat box. Please only write something into the chat box when being asked by the trainer or by the facilitator. Otherwise, you know, I multitask, so it will be difficult to read all the messages in the chat box when not requested. Okay, this is just some information on the technical housekeeping rules. Any questions so far before we really start? No, nothing? Okay, I put on my glasses and go to the PowerPoint presentation, which I want to share with you. Hang on. Okay. Full screen mode. Okay. My name is Klaus. Well, it's Klaus, a very German name, Klaus Schmitt, or in Chinese, Shui Sheng, which I normally use in China. Yeah, today we talk about counteracting your nervousness with confidence and courage. I would like to give you some suggestions, some points which could help you to ease and to mitigate this anxiety. But first of all, who am I? Who's Klaus? I'm a professional trainer, organization coach, and facilitator. I said I've been living in Shanghai for 15 years. I've been training for 10 years, coaching now for 6 years. I got backgrounds in industrial business administration, technology as well, training management and marketing. My experience with China is like around 30 years already. It was like 30 years back when I was studying in Hangzhou, then studying Germany, etc. I was working a lot in Western China cooperation projects like German Chamber of Commerce, Shanghai. I was an adjunct professor at a management school or business school in Shanghai called ESCA, where I was teaching cross-cultural management and cross-cultural negotiation. Okay, I'm specialized in means there are some key points which are very important for me. What is a communication? I trained a lot of topics which are related to communication, so I always think, and you know it, there's no non-communication. Next, of course, cross-cultural management. As living in Shanghai in a quite international environment, it's very important to know how to manage people from different countries and leading globally. So let's go to leadership, but not only for like leadership personalities, but how to lead yourself as well is a very interesting topic for myself. Not leading only others, but leading yourself. So going to self-management. I think self-management is even a topic in our very challenging times, which is getting more and more important. And mindfulness. Mindfulness meaning awareness as well. And we're getting to this topic of awareness today in my little speech. Okay, but why am I talking about this topic today, about nervousness and anxiety coming up for public speaking? I would like to share a little story with you. It happened 12 years ago, actually. I was living in Shanghai already, but went to business trip to Hamburg, and I had to do a presentation in front of quite, I presume, quite important people, like from the government of Hamburg, from the Chamber of Commerce, and it was in the marketing field. So in the middle of the presentation, of course, I was like well prepared, I thought. I really got a blackout. I was stuck. I didn't know how to go further. You know, this famous black hole which you are looking for, right? Which does not exist. But I didn't know anything further. I even didn't know the name of my boss. She was sitting next to me. So, of course, she saw the situation, took over, and even Barbara, who's now in the session with us, she was witnessing. She's like a former colleague as well, Barbara. You know it, you have seen it at those times. And this situation triggered me in terms of saying, Klaus, this is never, this never should happen again. No way. I have to develop myself. I want to do something to get rid of this nervousness, to be more confident, more brave for further public speaking events or presentations. So this is one of the reasons I got very passionate on this topic. And I was reading a lot, exploring a lot. So I put something together for our presentation today. So one of my mottos I have in my life, which I could apply to a lot of topics, is from Aristotle, the Greek philosopher, who said, excellence is an art won by training and habituation. So if you are not ready yet, or you think you're nervous, can you change? Can you do something about it? Yes, I would say by training. You have to learn it. You have to train yourself and get habituated, meaning you have to get used to it. You have to use it, to try it and to apply it in your daily life. Okay, let's see our agenda for today. Let's see, I think it will be around 1 hour or 1 hour something. I was planning some breakout rooms, which you cannot do right now, so we will see. First of all, you're not alone. Then we'll talk about our mindset. In this mindset section, I will give you some hints on techniques you could apply yourself for mitigating your nervousness and anxiety for public speaking. And then we will go to the mindset, to the positive mindset. Let's say we go into a meta level to see, can we influence our mindset actually? At the end of our presentation, I would like to talk a bit about your scope of influence. Okay. You're not alone. The fear of public speaking is very common, actually. As I said, and I just described to you my story, I witnessed it, I experienced it. And if you had a look at into the Buddhist sutras, even I was a bit studying Buddhism, you could even find the fear of public speaking. Well, in those days, it was described differently as speaking in front of other people. It's one of the biggest 5 fears mentioned in the Buddhist Sutras. Let's go by number 1 first. Fear of losing life. Well, fear of dying, of death, is one of the biggest ones mentioned in these sutras. Fear of losing love. We all want to be loved, so it's a big need, so we might fear it. Fear of losing livelihood. What does it mean? Not having enough money to live, no survival. So we need money, we need food, we need something substantial to survive. Number 4, in the Buddhist Sutras, it says fear of losing control. It's like losing your mind, becoming crazy, becoming disoriented. This is one of the big fears as well. And here you are, number 5, fear of speaking in front of other people as well. So already Buddha, if you believe it, might have talked about this fear. Okay, you might say, okay, this was in old days. How does it look nowadays? Oops. Let's see here the fear of public speaking in the US last year. More than 40% of the Americans say they fear public speaking still nowadays. It's one of the biggest phobias in the United States, and I would say globally. Next to having fear of spiders or darkness, including claustrophobia or heights and even death. But the fear of public speaking, it says here up to 75% of people experience speech anxiety. So you're not alone. It's something we maybe could talk about. So there was one guy even for the introduction round, I think Alan or someone from Beijing, he said he's experienced this fear as well. So let's share. We cannot do breakout rooms as I've seen, but maybe we get back to the plenum just to discuss and maybe being quite open to share two questions. The first one, the first one is, how does your fear of public speaking show? How does it show up? What symptoms do they arise? And second one is, where do you see possible reasons for that? Why do you think you have this nervousness? Where does this anxiety come from? We see these two questions. I would like to go back to our sharing. Maybe if you want to turn on your mic or writing down something into the chat box. As I see right now. Okay, some people have written down something. I'm just about to read it. Okay, let's hear. Maria, you say I start get fidgeting and start checking my watch obsessively. Okay, what other symptoms to experience? Isabel, yourself, you said I'm afraid to not bring value. Very interesting, yeah. Which is paralyzing you, yeah. Fear to death, Rukshan, really like dying. This is a very like panicking already. Gregor, you say fear of being judged. Okay, we don't want to get judged. We want to be good. We want to be the best. We have certain expectations. Sure. Protein, I don't know how to pronounce your name. You're right. I used to forget what I would like to say in a clear manner. Okay, I get what you mean. Or just like a blackout, right? Like in a mind. Oops, what was I about to say? Forgetting it. I may. Hello. I don't feel anxiety if it's if it's in person event, but online it makes me more anxious. I don't know why. That's a good point. For me, I was a bit more nervous actually as well, like for the online stuff because it's about connection for me. Also, I don't see a lot of people, so it's maybe a bit harder to get connected. I can totally understand. Rukshan, fear of judgment. I look stupid. Liho, I'm afraid that people look like judges. Yeah, okay, the judge you. Isabel, again, I say less than I wanted to say initially. It's about forgetting things as well, like mentally getting out of track. Uh, Ellen, my brain is a blank cause of nervousness. Okay, yeah, a bit what I described before my situation 12 years ago. I feel my head shaking and sweating. Yeah, that's very common. We sweat, we shake, we tremble. Correct. Hey, my ability to articulate ideas diminishes. Yeah, yeah, I can fully understand. Oh, a lot of symptoms we have found. Um, could we go now to the second question? Well, you had some of the answers already. What do you think are possible reasons for this? So, like why? Well, some people said already, okay, online, Laima, you said online people different to face, which might be a reason. Mm, if you think about possible reasons, what could it be like? What do you have in your mind? Fear of failure, Maria, absolutely. Failing. Greg, think that I need to perform. Yeah, it's about expectation, performing well, maybe performing perfectly, right? Any more reasons you might have? Why do you think these fears come up? Isabel, not meeting the assembly expectations. Again, about expectations. Well, do you know beforehand? Do you know the assembly's expectations? Could be a question I could ask you, right? Are you sure? And to what extent are you able to prepare? We will get to the preparation state in a second. One more, some more answers to the questions. Abdu, I think it's a natural response of our body and physiology. Yes, I think adrenaline is a very natural response to like stress, but fear and nervousness, this is a question. Is it a natural response of our body? Fear of confrontation. Oh, okay. Greg, you mean like what are people saying? Is there any resistance? Is somebody is not your friend maybe or might trigger you and not be the good guy? If I understand it right, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Gregor, belief systems and values are very different from the audience. Yeah, absolutely. This is human. We all have different belief systems and values can vary a lot. But what is the consequence? What would be the consequence, Craig, out of it? If you say belief systems and values are very different from the audience, so what could it result in? Again, being judged, maybe. Is it?
Yeah, a sense of not being accepted by the group and not being a part of that audience. You're outside of it. You are in opposition of it if you're not integrated somehow. So
Okay.
not being
Being
integrated.
okay, being pushed out, being different, they might not agree. So yeah, agreeing to their values and to their belief systems. Okay, what you write a lot has to do with emotional safety, does it? Like I want to feel emotionally safe. So what is coming in as a danger? Maybe it's true or it's not true, but we believe we won't feel emotionally safe. Does it make sense? I have a lot of items
Yes,
you
I
were
would
writing down.
say, yeah, having like very rational and logical answers, but somehow not connecting on a deeper level emotionally with the audience.
Okay, right. Good. Any more answers on the reasons why you would feel nervous or anxious? Okay. I think you mentioned a lot of already. Isabel, again, putting too much pressure on yourself. Yeah. I always say, like, don't be so hard on yourself, right? If you are a perfectionist yourself, of course, it's, I don't want to say good start, but it makes it quite hard, quite challenging for yourself. But we all have our expectations. And protein, I feel less confident due to language barriers. Yes, but still being maybe confident in terms of accepting even my English is not perfect at all, or my Chinese or my French, just accepting it and saying, or seeing, so see, I'm a foreigner maybe, I'm not Chinese. When I speak Chinese, I do make mistakes, but just being open and saying, okay, once you have any questions from the audience, please feel free to ask. Once you don't understand anything, please raise your hand. Still being confident. We cannot be perfect and fluent maybe in foreign languages, but it makes sense. We can feel less confident on it. Okay, thanks a lot for the sharing. Let's move on. How to do, well, how to counteract these symptoms? What to do against them? This is the main question. I'll go back to the presentation. Okay, we just were discussing possible reasons for these symptoms. Okay, hold on. Oops, sorry. Okay, let's get to our mindset. I would like to focus on the mindset stuff today to see, is there anything we can do about this? Because it begins normally in our head, these fears and this nervousness. So the question of today is, can we control our mindset? What do you think? Any responses from you guys? Control, even maybe you could say, could we impact it? Could we influence it? Could we condition our mindset? What do you think? Are there any answers? What do you think? Mm. Chimps. Hi, chimps. Yes, we can. Of course, yes. I think it's. Oh, somebody saying no. iPhone 192. No name. Okay, you say no. Well, maybe you will change your mind in a sec. iPhone Jessica says yes as well. So most of the people say yes, I guess, right? You can control it. You can change it. We can control our thoughts. But Laime, you said very right. It's about awareness. Are we able to? Do we want to? And do we know ways how to control our thoughts? I think it's often about what I have learned about shifting the energy or shifting my state. Once I find a way to shift it away from this emotionally triggered, I could feel and think differently. Okay. So here are more quotes. I love quotes. Come on, my laptop. Here we are. From the US, he says, we become what we think about. Albert Ellis, another US guy, a psychologist, says, what has an impact on our emotions and behavior is not the event itself, but the way we think about it. Does it make sense? I think so a lot. So, what happens? We just discussed it already when this nervousness is coming up. It's adrenaline produced in our body and it takes control of our body and our body language and communicates a message of uncertainty. But sometimes even the cognitive ability is weakened. As some people said before, our amygdala is like making us getting flight, fight, and freeze. And I guess for public speaking is often freeze. If we have this blackout, as I have experienced 12 years ago, I was in a kind of freeze state. I was like not existing anymore. I just was stuck there. And it's really a good example of getting in a freeze state. So I think it's normal to have these kind of reactions, but what to do not to get hijacked by our emotions and feelings? What can we do? So I would like to go into some, finally, techniques, starting with some simple techniques to counteract these effects of stage fright and nervousness of public speaking. First of all, it's the preparation. I always say, like, I think in English we say it, preparation is half of the battle. So once you prepare well, maybe you have gained like more than 50% of success. So prepare well. And it's related to the mindset already, but more tips are going to be shown. First of all, science or art. How do you think about the speech, about the public speaking you will perform? Is it like a science, meaning you have to be perfect, there's a structure on it, sure, or is there some art, meaning some flexibility, some kind of improvisation you can put in? So meaning you don't have to prepare 100% because it is art. There's some imagination, some intuition going with it. So how is your belief about this public speaking event? Is it only science? Is it art? Maybe some responses from your side. Maybe you could write it into the chat box. What is it for you when you do public speaking events? Is it more science or is it art? Okay, Rukshan, you say 50-50, half-half, makes total sense. Both. Maria says, it's art for you. You improvise too much. Well, you improvise too much. Yeah, but improvisation is good, but I think you have to be conscious about both parts, science and art. Isabel, for me, it is an art, but we can incorporate some science if you want. Okay, Gregor, wow. You come from Brazil, I know. You're Brazilian, 70 art, 30 science. I like it. I love it. Yeah. Science maybe might give you like a frame, like a box where you could feel safe, but the content is more art. Very good. Any more responses from your side? Leo, I asked you, I know you're in the audience as well. What is it for you? And response, more art or science? Art. Very good. Okay. Okay, this is the first point. It's happening in your mind already. Okay. Hicham says both. Certainly, it is certainly both, but again, to be aware of where do I put my emphasis on? Or can I like let go a bit for the art part? Like Gregory said, 70% art, which is a lot, like really improvising a lot. Once you have like a red line, which helps a lot. Good. What else? We go on here. Intention. What is your intention? Is it set very properly? You know what you want to get out of this session or this event? Do you know how you want to make your audience feel, how they think about you, how they see you? So setting the intention and the purpose of the goal, sorry, I got something in my throat today, is very important for the preparation part to be clear about your intention and the purpose and goal of your speech. The more clear you are, the less nervous you can get, right? So this is the preparation part. So really being clear and aware of this is a message I would like to convey to the audience. So not like going forth and back, but having very clear intention and purpose. Structure, of course, I mentioned it. This is like the science part, I would say. Structure is very important. Me being German, even more important. I need structure for everything. When speaking, when giving training for any project, I need a very clear structure and not too many changes on this. But structure is something you have to have in your mind for any speech, for any public speaking event, so to be prepared well. Again, this can mitigate your nervousness. Another point is know the audience. Do you know who is participating, who will come? What are their expectations? How is the hierarchy? How do they respond to the environment, etc.? All these are all thoughts you could have in your preparation stage. So think about it more to align with their expectations, right? Gregor, you said like they have different values and different beliefs, which is normal. But again, what does the audience want to have or gain out of the session? Could help a lot to have some thoughts about it. What is the interest? What is the attitude of the audience? I hope it makes sense. Rehearsing. A lot of professional speakers say they rehearse at least 3 times in front of a mirror. I rehearse normally like 2 times, but I trust very much on the art part, which I have. And you know, maybe the elevator test or elevator pitch, both names for it. Like the story is like you have to give a presentation in front of the board, and the director of the board, you are meeting him in front of the elevator, and he tells you, "Oh, sorry, I cannot make it to the meeting." You go with him into the elevator, into the lift, like for 45 seconds down, and he asks you, do you mind like summarizing your speech? What is it all about? So rehearsing in a way that you only needed 40 to 45 seconds to say all the essential important things of your speech. I think this is one important point for your rehearsal you can train yourself on. So whenever you lose um, memory on some details or something, you always can go back to the red line and to the structure and the elevator content you have rehearsed before, right? Okay. It still feels very strange for me, this online training, I have to admit. There's no response. I'm speaking towards some slides and hope everybody's still there. Okay, but this is a new normality, I guess. Preparing question, another thing. Preparation phase, prepare questions. Um, Once you get stuck or you forget some part of the content, or there might be a Q&A session, and you ask questions or you ask, are there any questions? And nothing is coming from the audience side. You always could be prepared by like asking some rhetorical questions to the audience and answering it yourself. Like prepare at least 2 to 3 questions could make you calm down and not getting so nervous because you're well prepared, right? The dress code is very important. I don't know how you think about what to dress. I always dress up a bit like, well, today it's still quite casual about a shirt. When I do training or speaking, I always dress up in like suit or let's say smart professional. Even though it's like an IT company and often China, they appear very casual. I don't mind. I really have my standards and it's kind of my maybe image that I want to present myself in a professional way. So my dress code has to line to this mindset. Okay, this is preparation phase. Let's go on. More techniques maybe you could apply in the moments you still have to go before you're going to start your speech. It's impacting your mindset, of course, too, but some physical things as drinking water or drinking tea, but water helps you to prevent, I'm drinking tea, sorry. And drinking water to prevent your mouth from becoming dry, which will help during your speaking, especially if required to speak loudly in large rooms or not having a microphone. I think this is something everybody knows. Food. I ate a banana today. This, well, noon we have now, afternoon here in Germany. I ate a banana. It's like a brain food and nuts as well. You know the shape of the nuts. It really resembles the brain itself. So it's giving a lot of good nutrition for the brain, which might help you to energize, energize up for the speech. We go on by massaging your forehead, on the temples, like doing some little acupressure on your head to relax your skin on the head and the brain. It says it stimulates the front of the brain, which is your speech center. The next one would be practice deep breathing. Adrenaline causes you to breathe shallowly, like normally in the chest region. Thus, deep breathing will get more oxygen to your brain and your body. We believe you are calm. Will believe you are calm. So I don't want to get too deep into the breathing techniques or pranayama. It's about the belly breathing, right? So more activating the diaphragm, the diaphragm, the big muscle, which goes around your belly until here your back, and trying to activate it to consciously breathe into this diaphragm in the belly. It helps you to calm down. One more, power pose. It does have a big impact on the mindset, on the state you feel. I talked about shifting your state, not shifting your mind, shifting your state and shifting your energy. So for me, whenever I do a public speech, before this, I stand, I don't know if you see me, I stand up like this for some seconds, I breathe, hands up, and really getting down all the energy and do some affirmations and tell myself, coming down, and it will be a good presentation. Here in the picture, we see a woman. The one is like saying with some feet apart, like I'm the alpha, I'm the leader, and the other one is like want to get power by this. There was something in the chat. Sorry. Okay. How can I read it again? No. Hang on. I don't know how to get back to the chat box. Hang on a second. Okay, Barbara left already. Bye-bye. Okay. This technique, I'll go back to the presentation. Okay, PowerPoint, power pose, yes. Now, techniques, slide number 3. Your speech is about to start. What could you do? Smiling. Smile relaxes your body by sending positive chemicals throughout your body. I always go by saying, lift your cheekbones. I'm like a dance facilitator as well, dancing and some body movement, and I want people to smile, to relax. So I say, lift your cheekbones, smiling. Maybe if you don't feel so happy and still feeling nervous, once you smile, again, it relaxes your body. Making eye contact and smiling before you begin to speak. The last moment of peace is very, very relaxing and helps you to define the center of attention. So making eye contact and people give you some feedback helps me as well to calm down. One more technique is to speak slowlier than usual. Maybe I'm speaking a bit too fast as well, but for me it's still very unusual not to see my audience faces. But when you speak, speak more slowly, slow down your pace, and it will calm your nerves and provide extra time for you to think clearly. Okay. First of all, I ask you, are there any questions so far before we got really into the mindset and see, can we influence, can we condition our mindset? I just have a look into the chat box to see if there are any questions coming up. Okay, so let's go on.
That's clear. The warm-up is like the preparation. Now we need the mindset.
Yes. Yeah, but the preparation itself is a value, right? You are right, does have an impact on the mindset, right?
Sure.
Now we are looking at the mindset itself. Again, a quote, I love quotes, and it says, your belief is from Mahatma Gandhi. Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. Well, it's a very long quote, but I like it a lot, especially when you think about thoughts, words, and action. This is something which relates to us as well when we talk about public speaking. How do we think about ourselves? What do you think? They become our words and our feelings as well. So these become our actions. So this is something we have to pay attention to, right? Okay, the mindset. 3 points here I would like to practice with you, which could have an impact on our mindset. First, awareness, visualization, as well, meaning like mental visualizations, getting maybe positive picture of yourself when you're preparing. You could put it into the preparation phase. But as we are on the mindset part right now, seeing yourself being on stage. In this context, I always go by saying, try to disassociate you from yourself, not associate. We have 2 types of visualization. Let's try. 1 second, please. Everybody closes his or her eyes and just have a view of you, an image of you on stage. You see yourself on stage speaking, right? You did do it or you will do it, but everybody has this experience. Does everybody have this picture? Okay, then please open your eyes again and tell me, was it associated, meaning you see yourself in the body of yourself like you're speaking and you're seeing the audience, or like imagining the audience outside? Or is it like disassociating, meaning you're seeing yourself from outside when you're on stage? I always go by saying dissociating helps me, or helps me to calm down and to see, okay, what can I do? I see myself, even though when I'm nervous, I disassociate myself. I'm not in my body anymore when I see myself. I try to step out and see, okay, I could do something about it. Okay, there was a sharing the chat box. I have to, it's here, okay. Some people, no, see from outside, Maria. I see for myself from outside, Isabel. Kids to outside. Kids see to outside. Wow, it is associated. Gregor from the outside. Great. So nobody has seen him or herself from inside, like meaning the associated in visualization. Great. We do another visualization in a minute. This was just a basic one to see how this difference, how you feel the difference between associated and disassociated. And self-affirmations. What do you tell yourself? What affirmations could you give yourself to trigger your mindset in a more positive direction? We'll see in a moment. Henry Ford said, and I love this quote. Well, I love all these quotes, but this one is like really, it's awesome. If you think you can or you can't, you're probably right. Gets a sense? What do you think about it? And now I know how to use the chat box and see at the same time. Gorgeous. Is it true? Any comments on this? Very true. Isabel says, yeah. So it's again up to you to decide. When you think I cannot, you're probably right. When you think you can, you're right too. Okay. Maria says it's a very good quote. Thank you. Hicham says it's true. Okay. So what can we do when we apply all these three for the positive mindset? Oh, sorry. Go again here. Reframing stress into eustress. As we said, adrenaline is in the body. It's pumping up your energy, and you might get stressed or nervous. But normally in stress, we say we have two terms. So one, the more negative one, is a distress. Often when we talk about stress, actually it's distress. But we have another term as well, which is called eustress. This is like Greek for beautiful. It means beautiful stress. Like, what does it make in your body? This adrenaline, it's giving you more power, more energy, more focus, and more concentration. So thinking about it, wow, now I'm stressed, but it's a positive state I am in. It's nothing I have to freak out, because now I'm well prepared for my preparation. So reframe the stress. Sorry, reframe the stress maybe into eustress. Don't know if you heard about it. Second one, no what if questions. What would happen if they don't like me? Is there some resistance from the audience? You don't know. Just stopping to say, what if? Of course, this is a part of awareness as well. How many what if questions are you asking yourself in the preparation phase, or even when you're giving a speech, right? Stop it. Try to stop it. No what if questions. The same applies, it's quite similar, no assumptions. Again, what happens if I don't know, maybe this speech doesn't feel so good. There's one man in the audience who looks to me in a quite strange way. This might um, it might mean that blah, blah, blah. No, stop it. One of the big mottos in my life as well is don't make any assumptions. And if you go by the term or the word assume in English, it's kind of funny. It says as you me. So when you assume, you make an as out of you and of me. So no need to do this. Try to stop to make assumptions because you do not know how the future looks like or what is the real reason behind it. Maybe you don't even know the need of the other person. Don't assume too much. Number four is something which helps me often when I'm giving training or giving a speech to tell myself I'm the expert. Like you are the expert, meaning I'm the expert. There might be important people in the audience, as I told you like 12 years ago, like they have their rank and their status. But in this special field, I'm talking about I am the expert. And I do have some professional knowledge, some data they do not have or can hardly provide, right? Does it make sense? Having a look in chat box. Kitsu says, very true. When you tell yourself you can't, you lose focus. I guess focus means focus during a speech. Good. Let's move on. Oops. Here, be yourself. No comparing. You can watch a lot of YouTube videos or maybe attending my classes and trainings to say, okay, I want to copy this person. I want to get some techniques and apply it. I hope really you will do so. But still, be yourself. You have your little flaws, maybe. You're not perfect, but be yourself. Don't try to compare with somebody or copy to be somebody else. I think this won't be successful. So positive mindset for me still means I am who I am, but who am I? I can improve, but I'm still Klaus and always will be, right? Another one, believe in your message. I have seen salesmen who are selling something in their presentation, but they do not really believe in it. It's their job. They have to sell it. They do it quite well. But I feel it when they do not, or the audience feels when they do not really believe in the product or in the message they want to convey. So believe in it, what you want to express, what you want to sell, when you want to convince somebody, influence somebody. So believe in the message, which helps a lot. And finally, another one which helped me as well a lot when I do my speeches, trust the audience as friends. There is no harm. There might be some people who give some resistance or have some critical questions. We won't get into the topic today, how to deal with critical questions. I think you can learn as well some skills and techniques. But again, for the preparation, it's a positive mindset setting. I tell myself, good people, friends, nobody's hostile to me. They're gonna like me. They're gonna like me. They're gonna love me. This helps me a lot to calm down. Does it make sense so far? Any questions before we get further, even deeper into the mindset? No questions?
Just a comment on your last, trust the audience as friends.
Yes, Isabel?
Sometimes when we are at an event and we see someone struggling, inside of ourselves, we think, yeah, go on, no problem, go, 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 you know? So I'm thinking that people, they also think the same about us. So it makes me getting more relaxed because people are not against us. Actually, when someone is having trouble, we can identify ourselves to them. And also, I remember sometimes people are giving speeches, and in the middle they say, "I'm sorry, I am so bad," but actually, I never thought they were bad. until they said it. So sometimes we just don't have the good knowledge about what's happening, and it's better to continue and to trust yourself. So that's how I noticed, because I saw it a lot of time. After the presentation, they say, okay, I'm sorry, it was not good, but actually I never even imagined it was not good. So sometimes it's just us putting too much pressure on ourselves.
Absolutely. So you're so right, Isabel. And what you said as well, you do a lot of assumptions, right? A lot of people assume it might be that these people or this person is thinking this way. That might not be true. So why to get involved and busy with these thoughts? Trust is very essential. Thank you.
Hi. Can
Kitsu,
you hear
yeah.
me? Yes.
So,
I actually want to add a little hints about the
sorry, it's very hard to understand you. I don't know the connection. What did you say, Kitsu?
Yeah, unfortunately, we cannot hear you clearly. Maybe you can write in the chat.
Could you type it maybe into the chat box, Kitsu?
That's so pity. We cannot hear you correctly. It's just some blanks.
Hicham was writing like, "Oh, this is how we can gain confidence, right?" I don't know what point it was exactly, but I guess one of these 7 points for the techniques number 4. Okay, Kitsu, whenever you feel free, you can write it down into the chat box, your questions, or maybe a bit later. Just let's get on. Self-talk, affirmations. I mentioned them already. Often we call them ants, little ants. In the cognitive behavioral therapy, we talk about ants, meaning, hang on, I have to move it a bit. Automatic negative thoughts. Like, how do we talk about ourselves in a negative or more positive way? How can we again shift it? For first of all, to be aware how we talk about ourselves. Some examples here. If you say to yourself, I'm nervous, what could be something more positive? I'm energized. Again, when you're catching yourself in this ant is the first step for the right mindset. When you even acknowledge, I'm nervous, of course, I'm having a speech, I'm nervous. Okay, try to shift it to something else, like I'm energized. What I told you before about the adrenaline hormone, what does it do with your body? It's energizing you. One possibility is to say to yourself, I'm energized. Second example, and I ask you right now, when you say to yourself and having the self-talk of, I'm bad in this, what could be something else? Totally changed, going into the positive direction. Any idea? Not telling yourself, I'm bad in this, but telling what? Great. Isabel, you're writing, I'm improving every day. I'm new to this. Yeah, okay. I'm new to this. It's very neutral. It's not doing it very badly to you. No, just to get started, right? Okay, Gregor, I'm good at this. Kitsit, I'm good at this, yes. I have here, I need more practice in this. If I'm bad in this, of course, I cannot shift into I'm great in this. It doesn't happen automatically, but just telling yourself the fact, I need more practice in this. Hitcham says, I'm still growing. Good, very good. I'm overwhelmed. What could be the positive thought? What do you think? I'm overwhelmed. Maybe a big ask from the boss to do something. A lot of people want something from me. I'm totally overwhelmed. What could be another thought? Any idea? I can handle this. Okay, from Noah. Maria, this is a good challenge to improve again. Improvement to better yourself. One step at a time. Right, very good for action taking. One step after another one from Kitsu. Okay. I have here, I'm really needed. Because everybody wants something for you. It's a great need for them to um, make me part of the project and getting into action. I could tell myself I'm really needed, which, well, I would like as a reframing of this and thinking. We have two more. Again, you're preparing a speech and you having an and coming up saying they won't be able to understand me. How could it be reframed into a positive thought? This worry, this concern, this self-talk. They will learn something new. Okay, Isabel. Maria says, I'll do my best to make myself understood. Very good. Or even asking yourself what I say, how can I make them understand me? Why do you want to stay in this spectrum of telling yourself they won't be able to understand me? No, ask the question, okay, how can I make them understand me? This is the proactive side of this negative thought, right? Last one, here. I have to do it, no other choice. Okay, my example is here. I will do it. This is the best choice. It's not no other choice. It's the best choice, right? So this is something we can do reframe in our self-talk system. Get away from this automatic negative thoughts and shifting into more positive side. But again, of course, we have to be aware of what is going on in our brain. What are we thinking? Let's move on. Still having say talking about self-talk affirmations is the focus. Where do we put our focus to? And we have the choice between three parts. First of all, away from or towards. Away from meaning, I don't want to be nervous. It's away from something I don't want, something to get rid of. Yes, or we can go into the towards focus. What do I want to get? What is my goal? What do I want to? What do I want? What do I want to approach to? This, I think, is a more positive focus for change. To think about the towards focus, not the away from. Or another example is like, I want to lose weight. Again, it's an away from focus. I want to lose weight. So where do I want to go to? Where do I want to go to? Yeah, what is the goal, the aim of losing weight? Future present. When you focus, try to formulate it in the present, not I won't, I will be calm, or I won't be nervous, and it's negative as well, and it's again away from, but not the future, but stay at the present and stay present. And the third one, I said it already, negative to positive, not what I don't want, but what I want. Let's look at two examples maybe here. And again, it's your job to tell me, instead of saying I won't get nervous, I said it already, what could be another shift of focus on this self-talk and affirmation? Make it easy, simple, keep it simple. I'm confident, I'm calm, I'm absolutely, everything is valid. I have here, I know how to handle the situation in a confident way. Another one, I won't trample, it's quite similar. I'm calm and in control, right? It's towards something, It's a present tense, and it's positive, not negative. Okay? Any questions on this self-talk part? Still have some minutes to run. If not, I would like to do an exercise with you. A torso twist. I stop now the presentation and would like to do a little exercise. Well, I don't see you, but it doesn't matter. A little exercise with your body and mind. Are you okay? Yeah? I would like you to stand up in front of your laptop. Really stand up. I just have to drink a sip of water. And it doesn't matter how you look or what part of the body I see. I don't look to the camera. I want you to relax. Just the feet hip width apart. Relax your shoulder. Straight back. And then you stretch out your arms. Put your palms together. It's a bit like the gun tossing pose within the Western, in the Western, you know, in these American movies, like having a gun. Straight arms, just straight. And now you begin to turn, to rotate your torso, the upper part to the left. You just begin as far as you get. And please just remember like the kind of marker, how far do you get? To what stage? Just, okay. You can see that a wall or you have a shelf, something. You can see how far you get. Now get back to the center. You breathe, and go to the right, to the other side. You do the same. And here as well, you see how far you get. Make like a visual marker in the wall or something, you know it. And you go back to center and relax. Okay, relax, please. Still stand there, but I want you to close your eyes. You just stand there. You just hang loose your arms or relax. You close your eyes. And now imagine, visualize. Same thing. You start stretching out your arms, only mentally. Don't do it physically. Stretching out your arms. You're rotating your body, your torso again to the left. But now you're going 10 degrees further, 10 degrees beyond the first marker. You see that you can make it a bit further. You don't have to move your body. It's happening in your mind. You go back to the center and now to the right side, the same. You are pushing your arms a bit further than before, only in your mind. Right? Then going back to center. Still keeping your eyes closed. Now, again, visualize, go on visualizing. Arms up. Now you go to the left side again, now pushing 20 degrees beyond the first marker. 20 degrees further. And again, you remember how far you got. You can make it very easily. Then you go back to center. In your head, in your mind, now you go to the right side. Again, rotate your body. You remember the marker, something, the limit. It's maybe 20 degrees further. Okay, now you get back to the center. On your mind, in your mind, and open your eyes. Okay, you still here? I hope nobody fell asleep during this exercise. Now you do it real again. Last time we all do it real again. Like we had it, we are still relaxed. Arms stretching out, going to the left, very gently, and see how far we get now. Breathing, going back to center, going back to center and to the right side. And again, seeing how far can we get right now. Wow. And going back to the center and relax finally. Okay, you can sit down again. Thanks a lot. I would like you to ask, um, could you go further? Any difference? How many degrees? Just by this little exercise of visualization. You could write it down again in the chat box, please. Anyone? No one? Anyone who could go further? Okay, Kisito meaning like 20 degrees further, right? Maybe 50 degrees. Okay, I could be a bit further. Isabella, Maria, 15. Yeah, right. Kisito further than the first time. Okay, about 15 degrees, Kisito. Okay, well, who did not improve? Of course, for those who did not have any improvement, you have to stay longer, I'm afraid, today. No, just kidding. You don't have to. No. No. But you can imagine like this little exercise just about physical movement showed up a difference while you were visualizing before. Imagine real tasks like public speaking, something you have strong affirmations beforehand. What could you change by visualizing it improving, getting better, performing better? What do you think about this exercise and the value of it? Just showing this value of visualization. Isabel?
Yeah, I heard that the high level sporty people, they actually also train with visualization, like visualization of winning,
Mm-hmm.
also visualization of jumping further, and it's actually a big part of that training, and it's very important, and it's scientifically proved that it can really make you more performant.
Okay. So well, anyway, I've seen all these improvements from your side already. So this is giving me a lot of courage that visualization can help. Okay, get back to the presentation. This was a toast twist. We have 15 more minutes to run. The last part is your scope of influence. Are you really able to influence? We had it already, the mindset. But again, what can you do about the situation? Not getting into a victim state, as we said before, I'm not good enough, I cannot do it, I cannot handle it. So one um, of the Chinese characters are like most, and you don't have to be able to read it, but it's a word listen in Chinese. I think we have some Chinese or Chinese reading people among the participants today. What do the parts mean? Listen, Ting, Ting in Chinese. We have some Taiwanese friend here, Li Ho, who can read it even more easily. An idea what the 5 parts mean, because this we could apply not only for listen to the audience or to other people, but listening to yourself as well. What do these different parts mean of the characters? Any idea? It's not a Chinese class today, don't worry. But I guess we have some people who read, Maria, even you read Chinese, right? So, and Liho and Alan. Let's have a look. We have some answers. Ear, of course, ear. Heart. In Chinese, heart not only means heart, it means mind as well. Ear, king. Yes, we have a king. Why a king there? And if we have a one is for attention and focus. Ear, king, heart, one. I see the heart. You don't know the blue one. Yeah, the blue one is maybe a bit difficult to see. It's like the eye. So it's like a mu. It's just upside down. It's a mu. So you see as well. So the brown one is the ear, or let's say red one. The red one is the ear here. Here we have the heart, mind. One for focus attention. This is the mu, yanjing. It's the eye for you see as well what is going on. But now as a king. So what does king mean? And the way I understand it is you have the influence, you have the power to do something. So you are not like helpless. But whenever you listen to something or to yourself, you can influence it. That makes sense? So the king part has not to be neglected. So why do I say this? Because I would like to encourage you to be more proactive. You all know Stephen Covey's book, maybe it's from 1989 already, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And the first habit he talked about was be proactive, so the circle of influence. What does it mean? Besides concern and concern you might have, why you're getting nervous, why you're having anxiety, what could go wrong, to focus more on your influence, or could these items actually being put into the circle of influence? Because the bigger the scope or the circle of influence is, the more power you will have and the better performance you will make. But if you don't do something about your scope of influence or about getting proactive, this circle will get smaller and your scope and circle of concern will get much bigger. So, as a final activity, I would like you, if you still remember what you said in the first exercise, you listed some possible reasons. Sorry, you listed some possible reasons for your nervousness. Where do they fall to? Do you think in the circle of influence or outside the circle of influence, meaning the circle of concern? What do you think? I open again the chat box and the sharing. Would like you to tell me. You remember some of the concerns and possible reasons you talked about in the beginning, like 1 hour, 20 minutes ago. Where would you put these items? Isabella, was it more about concern? Was it? What was it, for instance, what you would definitely put into the circle of concern, Isabel?
Maybe when I was thinking that I'm afraid to not bring value to people, so I was just it was just a concern, or maybe it's a bad translation for my side of what is concern.
Yeah, maybe we should define what is concern, but it's something which is giving you pressure, make you feel not well or inconvenient. So how could you reframe this concern into something to put into the circle of influence, Isabel? You said you don't know how to give value. So how could you give value? The first question is, what is in my control? What is something which I can say, I know I can handle in this situation?
I know I can bring value. It's also this, like, I need to trust more myself. And yes, not I think, as you listed, not assume that I won't bring something, or what if this, what if that. Yes, just
Voila.
being with more confidence and focusing on preparing what I want to share, why I want to share, and why it's important to give. So that
Great,
will
Isabel.
bring me out of the bad, this bad circle.
This would bring you out of the circle of concern and more emphasizing the circle of influence. Because would you have an influence on who's choosing to assume a lot of things? It's only you, right? So are you in control? Would you be in the control of less assuming?
Yes, exactly. So I think it's very eye-opening, because sometimes we just don't control our self-talk, and we let it go on and go on, and maybe it even prevents you from preparing well, because you already go as you are defeated, as it doesn't make any sense anyway. So you don't have the energy and the motivation to prepare things that actually can bring you there, and of course will bring value to the people that are coming to see you.
Nice to hear. Great, Isabel. Nice hearing. Who else? to think about your concern you had or the possible reason why you get nervous from the beginning. Where would you put it into? Which circle?
Hi,
Now,
Klaus. Maria here.
Maria,
I think
ciao.
I have
Mm.
I think I have a question on like where would you put like fear of failure? I don't know where to put it.
Of course, fear of failure, when you
Mhm.
formulate it like this, it sounds
Mm.
like a concern. But the
Mm.
question is, do you have an, some power, some influence on not having this concern? Why are you afraid of failure? What could be
Mm.
some possible reasons? If you ask yourself more why questions, Maria,
Mm.
why do you think you could fail?
Mm.
When you go deeper, you might find some reason. Is it again preparations? Is it the
Mhm.
topic? Is it
Right.
my self-talk? Is it the affirmations I give myself, which are not right? So again, do you have an influence on changing this fear into something more powerful, Maria?
Right. Yeah, I think for me it's probably the self-talk and affirmations that I have to work through. But yeah,
Okay,
that's a good point. Thank you, Klaus.
welcome. Any more examples from what you mentioned before or you wrote into the chat box 1 hour and 20 minutes ago? Where would you put it right now? We talked about mindfulness. We talked about the mindset, some techniques I gave you, especially looking into the self-talk, into the focus part, and how this shows up or could show up in yourself. Any more example from any item you mentioned before? Be aware. Think about the Wang, the king of the character. Listen. Do you feel like being in power of, in charge of? What do you again get yourself hijacked by these emotions? Okay, like 没办法, I cannot do anything about it. Or can you? This is the question. Try to enlarge this scope of influence or this circle of influence. The bigger it is, the less nervous you will get. Any comments from your side on this?
I think at the end of the day, about failure, we are all imperfect communicators and we will always improve by doing. And failure might be a part of it, as you explained in your story. The first time you had to do the public speaking, you just freeze and you could not do anything. But you didn't stop there, because today we can see how a good communicator you are. But you needed to take the steps from maybe where you were at that point to where you are now. So it's a step by step. So failure is very relative because it's in a process of improving ourselves. And anyway, we need to expose ourselves to have a better self-talk, to be have the courage to make it and improve step by step. So it's a process. Maybe taking it as a process.
Absolutely. But again, intention is very important, crucial as well. Those days, I told myself I want to turn the fear of public speaking into courage. I want to be or become a brave speaker and not being afraid of this and that. So intention made it possible as well for me to get more courageous. Okay, so last but not least, or here we have one, sorry, one, well, not a quote, I wrote it. It's not about the perfection. Some people just mentioned they might be quite perfectionist, but it's not about the perfection of skills. Mastery is a deepening of presence. Be present. Look what is happening in yourself, inside yourself. Be aware and try to shift this energy and this, yeah, state into something more positive you can benefit from. Okay, thanks a lot. So this was my presentation, but still it's about action. Picasso said action is the fundamental key to all success. So what, we have 5 minutes, 4 minutes left. What are you going to do differently? I would like, yeah, again, using the chat box to write down maybe what was your key learning from tonight's session, and from everybody maybe one action or behavior you are going to do differently or you take forward, if this was possible, out of everything you heard today. And it was just a short glimpse, only 1.5 hours on this topic. I could talk like an exercise for one day at least, because it's so important. Isabel, self-talk and turning the negative talk into positive mindset. Great, Greg, the posture, self-talk. We'll spend time working on it before my presentation. The posture, like the power pose as well. Great. Anything else? Maria, I will talk more kind and positively to myself. Nice. What else? Any action, anything you would do differently? More preparation from your side, Isabel? Protein to set the right mindset before you get into the room on stage, right? Gregor, visualization exercise is something very tangible as turning your body. Love the mindset part. Thank you. Change my self-talk from exquisito. Do the relaxation exercises, work on my mindset and visualization a lot. We still have some participants. Leo, keep smiling. Very good. Practice the right mindset, thought, self-talk, and more focus. Okay. I think we're nearly at the end. Thank you. This is my email address. If you want to connect to me, I hope I'll be soon back in Shanghai, so you can see me live or meet me live for coffee. But thanks again for Isabel and James to invite me over to be a part of Teranga. It was fun for me. I had some technical challenges like always, but my self-talk is I will improve every time. So yeah, thanks a lot, everyone. I wish you a great evening in Shanghai or wherever you are. I hope you learned something and take it away to apply, to practice, right? Okay, something coming in chat box.
Thank you so much, Klaus, and thank you to the Teranga Valley team to introduce you to us. And thank you, Kitso from the Teranga Valley team that are also like full house of the team in the chat. Thank you, Maria, that's always supporting us and coming to our events. I really appreciate Protegene, everyone, Icham. Thank you for the newcomers that I see, Gregor, Greg.
Okay.
I'm very happy to have you guys.
Thank you. So, obrigado. How to say? Grazie,谢谢, merci bien. What else? Like, dankeschön. Okay. See you next time again. Okay.
Next time.
I'm
Thank you,
signing off.
Klaus.
Bye bye.
Danke schön.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If someone